Hello, citizens. Look at this. Pyro 5 and all its giant moons coming into view. What a beautiful shot. And the music reaches a crescendo as we approach. Oh, lovely. I'm going to do a little bit of mining, a little bit of relaxing, a little bit of just having a good time. That's not what this video is about at all. In fact, there was a post on Spectrum almost a week ago. I guess it will have been a week by the time this comes out on Monday. And needless to say, this post didn't go over well. It was an official post from CIG, and it went over like a lead balloon. And I actually didn't find out about it until maybe 4 days after it was posted. And I typed a response. The response was very wordy, which is not a shock. I didn't post it because I couldn't really think of how to kind of explain what I was thinking in a post, and really it would be hidden and lost amongst all the other posts. So then I thought I'd make a video, at which point I thought it'd be better to just speak. I didn't really make notes, even with this kind of rambly prologue. I don't tend to use a lot of notes. So I did write a couple things down, and I jotted down on one post-it note a couple numbers to keep track of specific things. And in that one post-it note, I managed to speak for about, looks like half an hour. So that's what this video is. I thought, well, I kind of put that audio out, and I do think it's something that anyone who's made it this far in the video should listen to. Because I don't just talk about that post on Spectrum, but I also talk about the channel itself, my channel, my thoughts on my channel and content creation, and I talk a little bit about how this channel's going and where it's headed. So it's kind of an interesting talk, I think. It turned out to be much more than just talking about the changes in the referral program, which is what the main topic was supposed to be about. But so it's not entirely painful for everyone. I thought, let's head down to the planet, and well, I guess this is a moon. I've mentioned that a few times, and let's have some fun. Let's do some mining while all this goes down. Hopefully, everyone here kind of finds out about what's happening if they haven't heard about it already. It's surprisingly not as big of a deal on some parts of Spectrum, but that post is pretty much overwhelmingly negative. But I do talk about in this video that a lot of that is the fact that the people that are responding to it are people with skin in the game, and so maybe that's not indicative of the overall feeling of CIG's changes. So I think this is good that you should go and check out this. It's in the Spectrum in the announcement section, and if you've got something positive to say, you could add it to that for CIG to see. But right now, if you look at the response, it's been less so. Now, on top of that, before I kind of go over to the main audio that I had recorded, we're just going to talk a bit about what I've done. You can see here, I still have the double bagging on the Prospector. I haven't removed those yet, but I did upgrade my laser to the Helix 1 laser, and you can see my fracture power. I got 225 positive percent and window size minus 11%. And that's because I'm running 2 Ryger C3 modules. It is definitely not the easiest to crack some rocks. It does make that window razor thin on some of them, but at the same time, it does produce some pretty good results with larger rocks. So in my mind, it's kind of worth it. So I'm just going to head down the surface here. I'm just going to fly around and mine, but the audio that I recorded previously, I just recorded it now. Pretty much, I'm going to be putting that out unedited, so it's a little bit rambly, but to give you something to watch, I'm just going to turn my mic off now and just kind of mine. So enjoy the mining and my thoughts on both you as a viewer and this channel and Star Citizen's referral program and its kind of support of the community. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and now on to the actual start of this video. Good morning, citizens, and welcome back to the verse. This is going to be a long one, and I really hope that you stick with me and make it through to the end of the video, because this is something very important that I think is relative to everyone watching, and it's just something that I need to talk about because it's something that I've just discovered. It actually is a few days old now, but I happened to notice it on Spectrum, and there's been a change in a system to how referrals work. And I just want to kind of give you my thoughts on this, as well as how it affects everyone that plays this game, whether they are someone who puts out content like myself, or someone who has never had a referral for another player and has not really even thought of it. So this change in system overall has not gone over well at all with the community. And so I'm just going to kind of speak off the top of my head and hopefully make some sort of sense. There are proponents for and against this change, and they all have their points to make. But if you look at the Spectrum post, there's well over 1,000 people who've responded now, and it's mostly negative. However, the negative posts tend to outweigh the positive ones. On Spectrum in general, it's a good place for players to vent, and with the referral program, the players that really are responding to it are ones with skin in the game. So this may not reflect the overall view of players, but certainly it's the overall view of people who responded to this post. It's not surprising that it's been negative, but I'm going to try to keep this video relatively short. I'll probably fail at that. It's mostly a response to the post on Spectrum, but I think it's also relevant to all players of this game, and I want to get an idea of how others feel about this. So if you agree or you disagree, I'd love to hear from you. So in order to keep this short and sweet, I'm first going to go over the pros and cons about CIG's new plans. I'll start with the pros because I want to keep this positive, and although I don't have a lot of ideas for this side of the list, there are some pretty good ones. These ideas, both the pros and the cons, are my own, and I haven't read through the 1,000+ response on Spectrum, but I assume most of these are also going to be shared by others there. So the first pro is that CIG is finally updating their old referral system, and this has been needed for a very long time. So it's actually really good that this is happening. CIG plans to reset everything back to 0, and resetting this referral ladder, if this is a positive, will level the playing field. Indeed, this is true, at least for the very first day. Everyone's going to be on the exact same spot. This is a fact. Whether that helps everyone is debatable. The new system is going to have more rewards between levels. This is great because the old system had some starter goals close together and then massive spaces of 100 or 200 or 1,000 between the awards. So having them closer together is actually really good and really needed. You get to keep any of your current earned rewards. Again, really good and expected. Number 5, CIG, I think it's 5? Yeah, 5. CIG is going to give more money to new players that use a referral code, and that is awesome because the base 5,000 UEC is not worth it at all. Whether that means all new players are going to start with money, I'm not sure. I really hope that is the case, because if someone's used a referral code in the past, it's going to be kind of bad if they don't get a decent amount of starter money like a new player. It just makes sense to revamp the system. It's been getting a little long in the tooth. There's been a lot of like Arena Commander stuff that wasn't really used on there, and so getting something newer would be good. New referral rewards is going to get more people into the game or into the system, and the community can grow with more incentive to get into it. Also, some people to get rewards are probably going to be doing something like getting alt accounts, so CAG is going to make money that way. I guess I could say that we were told a few months in advance, and so that's kind of a positive thing. So I guess that would be my last pro I could think of. And that's pretty much it for the pros off the top of my head. As far as cons go, there's quite a bit more. I'll admit, coming from me with my referrals under my belt, I'm walking that line of sounding whiny or hypocritical. That would make more sense. I'll talk more about that, my current progress, and the fact that I truly believe this change is more detrimental to new players who have fewer referrals than I do. So the cons is when I hear that nothing is lost, that idea is untrue. Progress is lost. Whether that's the number on your list that you used to keep track of, the mid, if you're in the midpoint between rungs, the fact that CAG gave us time for that final push is not really an option for many, including myself. The last referral reward, not including referral bonuses like a hover bike, was in June of 2023. That's almost exactly 2 years ago. So it's not like I'm getting referrals often. Removing the progress would remove the list that shows me who used my code as a recruit, which actually I think is important for someone like me who actually wants to acknowledge those people that did that. It discourages referrals, except for events that have a bonus, because why would the community promote anything unless they're going to get something out of it? There's I guess you can call this like two different things, but there's a lack of trust and a loss of goodwill in the community with something like this. Referrals do not just appear out of thin air. Even I struggle against much bigger content creators, but if you as a player struggle to get, 1, 2, 3, 4, even 10, you got your cousin, you got your friends, you got your spouse, you got that one alt account that you bought. You're not going to get those people again. That was your pool, and it'll be all dried up. The fact that the referral ladder has always said more levels to be revealed, and people have been waiting for those levels for a long time, and now instead of more levels, it's a restart. That's kind of a con. The 3 months heads up is only worth it if you've got 4 more to go or a very supportive community. How many people are going to be buying themselves 60 referrals to get to that next level? I don't see that happening. Overall, the only real benefit is to CAG that the idea that it levels a field is false. Even if you only have 1 or 0, you've never had a referral, this can't really benefit you. The person who has less will struggle more to regain what they lost, and most won't even try. If you've got nothing, having somebody else back at the start isn't going to help you. It's going to make more people struggle tooth and nail for the little referrals that are out there to get what you need. They're going to be trying to get the same thing. If you've never really cared about the program to begin with, it's not going to matter to you one way or another, but that's not the same as benefiting you. It's just a null in that point. As I said, I made it to just about 150, and if things reset, I might get there again in a few years. I may never. But will I try harder? I don't think so. How can anyone feel that it's just not going to happen again? So those are my pros and my cons, and with that, I just want to talk about my position and how this affects me. Overall, like I just said, it can only be negative, and it's not actually a big deal. Honestly, I had to really think about this because I didn't really consider myself that this would be a big deal to me, because I don't actually really consider myself to be a content creator, but I am. I mean, I do. I have over 1,700 subscribers that for some unknown reason actually watch my videos, and I'm thankful to each and every one of them. I didn't start this channel for subs or money or a new career or fame. I didn't even technically start it for Star Citizen, even though that is almost the entirety of my entire channel. It was at the height of the pandemic, and I've always loved space games. Like my first game, Space Quest, Space War, Free Space. Come to think of it, there's a lot of those games that have space in the title. Home World. Around that time, The channel creation, it was supposed to be for space games in general. My original plan was to join up with some of my friends playing Space Engineers and other multiplayer space games. That's why it's called Land Party in the channel title. And it's just, in my first video, I was getting back in this game after a long hiatus, and I enjoyed it and making those videos. And honestly, after all this time, I still enjoy this game. Despite the bugs and the issues, it's the one that I keep coming back to, and I feel I'm always going to keep coming back to this game. When CAG adds things that are not my focus, when the scope of the game feels like it's switching from what it was to more of a first-person shooting space combat themed game, I just ignore that aspect. I try to do what I want to. I hope that it will continue and that the things I love are not going to be removed to make way for new skins and combat areas and all the aspects that cater to players wanting the game to be easier and faster and more what I feel like is every other space combat game out there. As long as there's something for me, I'll always be coming back to it. The referral program was a nice bonus, and although I do create content, I'm not the big fish in the pond at all. I get a lot of the negative comments on my videos are about me being a shill or supporting Scam Citizen in my videos. I read all the comments, good and bad. I do respond to them if possible. I try to engage with my audience, and I get it. People like to complain. It's the internet. I see the comments on Spectrum that CAG gives YouTubers and streamers things and they care about them and not the average player. And for some people, they may feel that's true, and for some situations that might be true, but that's not always the case. I'm going to be real transparent here. I started this channel in late 2020, and at that time, it was fun, and I wanted to make videos. I love to create, make things, art, sculpture, etc. I taught printmaking courses before. I do etchings. I'm always trying to learn new crafts and skills, but I'm also, admittedly, very unfocused. I rarely stick to one thing for very long. Years ago in the 90s, I went to film school, and I wanted to work on movies, but then I went back to school a second time and changed careers because I didn't want to leave my town to go to Vancouver, Toronto. But I miss creating videos. I've stuck with this, with content creation, again, as a hobby because I've enjoyed it. Some of my videos are fun stories, some are series, some are more serious, some are tutorials. I've always wanted to support this part of the community that I enjoy, creating content for people that either found it funny or enjoyable or, more importantly, helpful is what's kept me focused and going. But I also set goals for myself, challenges. I tend to use smaller ships to show that this game can be fun without the larger ships to start out with, and that part of the journey is getting there, working your way up, which I find super fun. I set goals for myself within this channel. One of those goals was eventually monetization. At that time, to reach that goal was 1,000 subscribers, and I worked at it. I worked hard at it. I know there are bigger channels out there and ones that have grown faster, and if I wanted to truly grow faster, I would need to copy those popular channels, to crank out video after video, to focus on every video either being combat or quick how to glitch videos or how to dupe videos or the biggest, newest chips, how to make the most maximizing profit per hour. Those videos get the views, and I can see what's searched for and what brings people to my channel, and quite often those are what they came looking for. But I'd rather do what I enjoy. To play the game, to relax, to have fun. I enjoy putting tutorials out there to focus on helping starting players. That's why I have two accounts. I have the one with my main fleet, which is the one with my ships, and then I have the one small starter account because I want to focus on what makes the game fun for me, not grinding out the biggest profit over and over, not using the most powerful ship. After a wipe, I love to work my way up and bring you along for that journey. Sometimes it's very fun to use the bigger ships, and maybe in the future I'll start using both accounts and showing you some of the other ships and what they do. But a little over a year and about 60 or 70 videos, I finally reached that goal of 1,000 subs. Since then, YouTube has dropped that number, I think, down to 500. Like CIG did with referrals, they changed those rules. It helped others, but it didn't hurt me. They only need 500, but I still have my 1,000. I don't mind that others get there faster now. I'm happy that I reached my own personal milestone. And after a couple of years of content creation, I've never once took you viewers for granted. I love that you support me and this channel, and I've always wanted to give back to you as part of a community. I've also started to give away things using money I've earned and bought with the earnings from monetization. I've given away LTI token chips, game packs, armor, CCUs. I buy those and then I give them away because, again, this is a hobby and I wanted to grow this community. All I've asked for in return is continued support, and subs and likes go a long way to that. And I want us all to be part of this healthy, supportive group. As far as CIG changing the rules, it's happened with many other companies before. There's been grocery stores that change their point systems and get a new card and get a new partnership. But it doesn't have to be that way. I live in Canada, and we have Canadian Tire, which is like a hardware store, outdoor store combo. And they've always had something called Canadian Tire Money. They used to give physical paper dollars that were store money with your change. So if you spent $100, you might get $5 back in Canadian Tire Money, only usable in that store. They stopped doing that years ago and went right to it's tied to an account and it's on a card. About a week ago, I went to Canadian Tire. I had found some old Canadian Tire paper dollars that are a decade old, and they still accepted them. They still support both programs. I think there's a way to do both. I see two things often on Spectrum. One, I see people say content creators get free stuff, money, etc., and that CIG caters the game to content, like the content to streamers. And I also see people say CIG supports and gives content creators free stuff, and it's the only reason the referral program exists. It's all about them. I'd like to address both of these things. The first one being the free stuff and money. So I do make money on this channel. I didn't at first, but now with my videos and views, I do make on average each day about 20 cents. Some days are better than others. Some videos buck the trend, and for a few brief days I hit $4 or $5, but then it goes away about as fast as it arrives. Also, those are Canadian dollars, not big American bucks. So far this year I've made $61.82. This is not nothing, and also not the reason I make content. It's also why I really don't think of myself really as a content creator. I mean, $61.82. Of that money, I have to pay taxes, again, Canadian dollars, and even as a hobby, it's considered income. I also use that money for giveaways, so it's not profit really for myself. Each video I make, I come up with the idea, I record the footage, I set up shots in some cases, I edit the footage, and I upload it, make descriptions, publish. At the very least with each video, however long that video is, imagine double or triple the time, and that's how much time I've spent on it. And I've got almost 500 videos now, so like days of work. It's true some channels make much more money off Star Citizen, but definitely for me, I'm not one of those. Maybe in the future, currently absolutely not. I also mentioned that I see CIG gives free stuff comments on Spectrum all the time, and yes, that is true. With the referral program, I've gotten free stuff. With Luminalia and other events, I've gotten free stuff. The most I've gotten was ships, not only through the referral program, but I've won some ships in a few of the contests that CIG has held. Those are on my other account, and I've won them fairly, not due to who I am. I did once actually reach out to CIG about a year ago about giveaways and how I could be more involved because I had seen other channels getting prizes. I reached out that one time, and I heard back from one of the members of the community team. I was told that there was not actually any program that works with content creators. Based on what I see, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but for me, that is certainly the case. CIG has yet to reach out. Again, I'm a small fish in a pretty big pond. So that's my point as far as content creators go. We don't all make money. We don't all get free stuff from CIG. A lot of us just do this for the enjoyment of the game. Um, when after hundreds of videos, I reached my 100 referrals, I got the Blade. That was the last ship I got, and that was about 2 years ago. I average now between 0 and 3 referrals a month, unless there's an actual referral bonus, and then I usually get 1 to 4 extra. In the 2 years, I've gone from 100 to 142 referrals. 2 years of work, 42 referrals. I'm not one to push for referrals. My focus on making content is not for referrals or freebies. It's to grow my channel and to create this community of what I hope are really industry, mining, and shipping, and salvaging, role-playing focused players who want to both learn and teach and play the game, and where we're all citizens working together. At the same time, I like how my channel subs as a long-term goal I've always wanted to see it grow. I saw the referral ladder as a goal to work towards slowly also. But if you've been watching my videos for over the years, you've noticed a pattern when there's referrals brought up. I explain how they work. I also place a code on my video. Partly that's actually because I've had a few of my videos actually stolen and reposted, so that code I use like a watermark. It's less likely. It hasn't happened since I started putting that code up there. Also, there's an image at the start telling you about the referral program and an easy link in the video. So you click that link and the referral code works. I've made it easy, but I've not pushed for referrals. And each time there's a referral bonus, I've always said that if you got a friend, use their code and help them out. I've also said only use mine if you want to support my channel or you need a code. Each and every referral I've gotten is a point of pride that I've earned it because I have produced what somebody considered was good enough. To say that somebody like me didn't earn those referrals because I have a YouTube channel is wrong and a bit insulting, because each one is hours of work and dedication and sharing my love of this game. It might just be a number and CAG owes me nothing really, but at the same time it has meaning to me. That long-term goal to reach the next milestone is more than just a ship. It's actually about my progress in reaching out to the player base. Just like my channel, I like that goal to eventually be attained. And the loss of progress is truly a loss for me. Regardless, I'm not a massive person on the internet. I've never thought I'd reach the lofty goals of 1,000, 2,000 referrals. But I like that it was out there, and that years, maybe even decades of work would slowly build up towards that new reward. If I'm honest, I never wanted the Javelin level. My pie in the sky and goal, hope for one day in the future, was the Million Mile High Club. The fact that one day in the far future I might be counted among the ranks of something like that was more exciting to me to no end than a Javelin. As sad as I am about this choice, I get that changes need to be made in the system, and CAG has made their choice that for them it's easier just to move on to a clean slate. It's not the choice I would have made, and it's going to upset a lot of people. Even if they backpedal now, the damage has already been done. That sense of trust in the people making choices isn't there. It's been a feeling I've seen on Spectrum based on multiple events. If I was in that room, I would have preferred a better option. Maybe to add more lower tier options between those longer landmarks. As it stands, the current referral bonuses, CAG does have a way to add those in. I mean, every time there's something like a Dragonfly or set of armors referral bonus, it shows up as a second item on the list. Having my pledges doesn't automatically add it to my account. It's only when the newer pledge is made that gets added. There is a way to add new items to the current list. My hopes of the new system is that things feel rewarding to players and not overkill. In fairness, a Javelin is a massive gift to anyone for years of work, but they don't need to be new ships. They should be something else that might be useful or just special in Star Citizen. The current levels for Arena Commander that's tied to the verse, but it's probably hardly used. I certainly don't use it. And the Arena Commander ships are not really that great anyways that you got. But there shouldn't be as large a focus on something like Squadron 42 specific items that you earn for getting people to play Star Citizen. Those things, in my mind, are more separate than Star Citizen and Arena Commander. I also hope that CAG doesn't give in to requests from people that missed out on past events. I've been around for a long time. In fact, my earliest game package, funny enough, considering I don't really do a lot of combat, is a combat ship from the original Kickstarter. Sadly, I consolidated my accounts and moved it over to a new account years ago and no longer have access to the email or even that old account. So I no longer have access to things like the plants that were in there, my Night Runner skin, but I don't miss it to the point that I hope that skin is added as a tier. I don't think that CAG should bring back the Star Kit and Dragonfly, because again, that was an old event, and those players that earned it have something extremely special. As far as new tiers, I would love it if CAG brought back the Million Mile High Club tier, but keep it at its current level, because it shouldn't be an easy thing now to attain. It should be that special thing for people that earned it by reaching something massive. It should continue to be a proud achievement for those people. You know what? I realize now it's almost like a half hour of me rambling. I'm going to wrap this up here. It's a pretty long-winded rambling video, so I'm going to end it by saying I'm bummed. I'm really bummed. I feel bad that this has happened to everyone who's ever backed this game and earned even a single referral. I'm sorry that you'll now have to start off at the same point as everyone else, scrambling to get a start. I know the majority of those referrals will go back to the players that have already reached those higher goals, but the best way to look at it is that those referrals are bonuses added to this game already. You can get a lot for a starter package. You get more features and systems and quests added each time there's a patch. Some will be for you and your playstyle, some will be for others. And during this the entire journey, I'll be heading out there and hopefully bringing you along with me. Honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, with each video I put out, if it's 5 views or 50 or those rare instances where I get 500, I appreciate every view, every sub, every comment, positive or negative, so that I can interact with you as part of the community. I do this for the love of creating a part of myself to share with you. And when I say that I hope to see you in the verse at the end of my videos, I really mean it. When we all start at the bottom again, I hope for your continued support, as well as we all work together, working our way back up to spend more time as citizens. So I'm signing off here, but I'm going to be back soon to mine, to salvage, to explore, and I do hope to see you all soon again in the verse. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. It's a long one. It's not an exciting one, but I'm glad you made it with me. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.